New Year's resolutions are exciting. It's exciting to think about big, significant change and how to make them in our lives. And so today, I'm going to talk about how to take those resolutions, those wishes and hopes, and build a plan to bring you to success so you can make them come true. But I want to start by talking a little bit about the statistics so you're aware about what we know about New Year's resolutions. The statistics tell us that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February, and only 8% of New Year's resolutions come true by the end of the year. So, I want to help you build strategies so you're in the success group, not in the group that fails, but in the group that brings your hopes and dreams and plans to fruition, to success. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about the common reasons that New Year's resolutions fail first, so you don't make the same errors. You don't fall into the same trap that people do who don't reach their goals. And then I'm going to talk about some of the strategies that can really help you build realistic plans to make it to the finish line. I'm so excited about this for you and for the people who are getting to see this because I know that you have the potential to make such wonderful, great, significant change in your lives. So let's talk about some common New Year's resolutions. A real common one is I want to lose weight, I want to get healthier, I want to get a new job, I want to save money, I want a new or a better relationship. These are all very common New Year's resolutions. And again, I want to start and talk about some of the traps, some of the problems, some of the reasons that New Year's resolutions fail again to help you so you don't make the same errors. And then we're going to talk about some really strong strategies and solutions and building plans. So, the first problem is having a New Year's resolution that's too general, too vague, not specific. A very general New Year's resolution is really like a wish or a want. And a wish or a want that doesn't have a plan probably is going to be among the statistics, among the 80% that doesn't happen because you don't have a system, a plan, a blueprint, a pathway to make it happen. And that's important. I'm bringing that point up right away, that plan, that method, that blueprint to make it happen. So I'm going to give you an example. The goal, I want to get healthier. Well, that is so vague. How are you going to get healthy? Are you going to eat healthier? Are you going to exercise more? Are you going to lose weight? Are you going to take vitamins or supplements? Or there are so many ways to get healthy. And if you want to get healthier, you really have to get specific about what your plan is to make that happen. Or getting healthier is just a wish and a hope without an actual plan. Another example, people will say, I want to save money this year. Well, how much do you want to save? Do you want to save $500 or $5,000 or $15,000? That makes a difference. And you need to know really specifically what your goal is so that you can take the right steps along the way so that when you get to the end of the year, you'll have accomplished what you wanted. And the financial goal is an easy one to show why we need a plan and we need the steps. If you want to save $500 at the end of the year, then each month that tells you what you need to save. If you want to save $5,000 at the end of the year, then you're going to plan to need to save more along the way. And again, having that plan and knowing what to expect of yourself and having a track and staying on track will guide you, will help help you evaluate your progress, let you know if you're falling off track that you need to get back on, and will help you build the pathway to create your success. Now, there are a lot of other goals where it's much more complicated to build the pathway, but you still need a pathway. And so we talked about the first problem that keeps people from meeting goals, and that is again a resolution that's too vague, too general, not specific enough. A second problem that keeps people from meeting and succeeding with New Year's resolutions, again, and I referred to this a little bit, is not having a pathway. If you are here and you want to get here, you need to build a pathway. And if you don't have that pathway, if you don't have that track, if you're just randomly trying to figure out how to get this result happen, it's likely not going to happen by random chance. You will likely fall in that 80% range of people who don't meet their resolutions because you didn't have a way to work to make it happen. I want to make sure that you do have a pathway so that you not only have a resolution that's a wish or a want, but you've backed it up. You have a track. You're building. My clients always have a track and plans so they're not in default just sitting and waiting for something to happen. They know exactly the steps and they have momentum. They're excited about moving forward. And that is what I hope for you also. The third problem in trying to make New Year's resolutions come true is what I refer to as unrealistic, irrelevant, untested pathways. We see this frequently in people trying to lose weight, that there are so many different plans out there in the world, and many of them are what I call the crazy, extreme, fad, limited, restrictive programs, the ones that tell people to starve or live on very restricted calories so that you're hungry, or obsessively count calories or points or macros so that you no longer have a normal relationship with food and you're not eating based on hunger and your hunger cues anymore. You're eating based on external cues that make you lose your understanding of when you're hungry or when you should eat. I think it's also unrealistic for a lot of these over exercise boot camp programs that ask people to exercise more than they're comfortable doing. Those are not realistic because they're not sustainable. And when people decide, I can't put up with this anymore, they go off track. And when they go off track, they end up regaining the weight that they lost, if they lost any weight to begin with. So we need plans that are realistic, not just plans that are made up, but we need to think about what is logical. And the more complicated a problem is, the more we have to think in detail of a plan that's realistic. So if you want a new job, we need to think, what is it that you want about the new job? Do you want something where you have a responsibility that you feel is more a higher level responsibility? Do you want a new job that will give you a higher income as well? And what's the realistic path to get there? Just hoping and wishing you can get that job is not going to work. Do you need to get some extra certifications or experience or recommendations? Do you need to update your resume? Do you need to show that you've had experience in certain areas? Do you have to learn better interview techniques so that you can interview better? Do you need to have better public speaking experience and skills? And these are all areas that I do help my clients with. Interview success, public speaking skills is something that a lot of people want to do, that I help people really reach and perfect and have a track and pathway. If you have been told that you just need to talk and look at yourself in the mirror and practice more, that is not a realistic pathway to improve public speaking skills. You need to address the issues that are keeping you stuck. A lot of people get nervous. A lot of people have trouble figuring out a good way to build a public speaking script or outline to use. There are many reasons, but again, a realistic program that's relevant to your life, your needs, your obstacles will help you meet your goals, as opposed to one that's just generic. And also, a lot of plans out there are what I call the one size fits all plans and one stage plans, where they just tell you right out what you need to do. One size fits all plans are usually irrelevant, because usually for big goals, we are stuck where we're at for different reasons from other people. And so it's not one size fits all that will bring you to fruition, that will bring you to the finish line. We need to figure out specifically what you need, not to throw in things that you don't need because there's this big umbrella plan for everybody. We simply need what's relevant to you, and by doing that, that is why my clients build success. They take on the steps and plans that they need. They're not weighed down by things that they don't need. And in addition, I always make sure my clients in their plans have a good way of reviewing their progress and revising their plan, especially for big goals like weight loss, like getting a new job, and like there are many big goals. The stage you start out with, the steps you start out with, and the plans are different from steps where you get momentum in between. And getting to the finish line often requires certain other steps for you to take. The one size fits all and one plan for a whole area usually doesn't work. It is usually unrealistic and doesn't get you to the finish line. So we want to make sure your plan has steps to help you check your progress and revise, upgrade your plan to the level that you're at if you need to. And finally, a lot of people who are trying to make big change feel alone and isolated. When you need to make a big change, usually you're not an expert in that area, which is why you often feel stuck. And having somebody who can help you evaluate the plans objectively and tell you really what the steps are that can help you is really the help that can get you to the finish line often. Feeling alone and isolated often is what keeps people feel stuck. And that is one of the things that I love to do with the people in my group, to really help them flesh out what their goals are specifically, to create realistic pathways to help them stay on track when they find that they're veering off a little bit, to help figure out why and make sure that they do have momentum and that they stay excited to stay on their pathway and that the plans stay relevant to their needs, their obstacles, and getting to their goals. So if this resonates with you, and I hope that you can find maybe 3 goals in your life: work-related goal, a personal goal, and a learning goal. Maybe something you want in your life, maybe to learn a language or a hobby. Another personal goal may be related to health or finances. And a work goal, something that you'd like to accomplish at work. What are these big goals that you'd like to accomplish? And for many people, they have the same New Year's resolutions each year. They can say, oh, last year I wanted this also. And the year before I would have liked for this to happen. I just can't figure out how to make it happen. Let's make this your year to make it happen. Let's figure out what your plans need to be to bring you to the finish line, especially for these three goals that I hope you're thinking out. What I'd like you to do now, I want to do with you now what's called the end of year exercise. We are at the beginning of this year, and I know you are thinking of your New Year's resolutions. I want you to jump on your calendar in your head to the end of this year, to December of this year. And I want you to look in the mirror and picture yourself looking in the mirror and imagine that you have accomplished, you have succeeded each of your three big goals. Your goal for work, for your personal life, and a personal learning goal, or whatever your goals may be, whether it's weight loss or public speaking or learning a new sport or a new art uh, or a new language, as I mentioned. Whatever your goals are, I want you to imagine the end of this year and you can think to yourself, oh, wow, I met all these goals, I've reached them, I have succeeded. This is probably the best year I have created, the best results. I'm so excited. That is how I want you to see the end of this year. And I want you to come back now to where you are now. And I want to say, let's create those steps that we need to so that you can get to that final stage, that end of the year exercise in reality, and celebrate with excitement and joy that you've reached, you've succeeded, bringing forward these New Year's resolutions, that you are in this 8% group of people who get to the end of the year and reach your New Year's resolution successfully because you've successfully created a realistic pathway, a track that you stay on, that you have the support to create those steps, to stay on it, and to get to the finish line, even if you have some challenges along the way. Um, those of you who've been in my group know that I have a Success Builders Club where we talk about these goals all the time, and a High Achievers Club. And I also have a Starters group now for people who feel that they're more at the beginning at level for this. I have a very special deal for people starting out, for starters. So, whatever level you're at, I would love to help you get to the end of this year and the way we picture the end of year exercise to actually have you reach that. I'd be really excited to help you build success for each and all of your goals. If you'd like to talk about what level you'd be at in my groups, whether you're in the Starters group or Success Builders group or High Achievers Club, we can have a conversation about that. If you have a particular goal or goals where you'd like to talk about pathways for those, I'm happy to discuss that with you as well. I will put my calendar in the comments and in our group, and I will have a limited number of appointments this week. So if you can get an appointment, I would be delighted to speak to you about whatever topic, whatever questions you have, and however I can help you. For some people, I'll just give you some small suggestions, and that may be enough for you. For some people, you might want some more support. Some people might want to join some of my programs. Whatever it is that helps you, I would love to help you and to help you get to the end of this year in that success group of people who meet and make your New Year's resolutions come true. So let's make this happen for you this year. I will be back next week at our regular time in our group, which is 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And I will be delighted to speak to those of you who make and schedule the appointment before you get closed out. And I'm really excited for you and for your New Year's resolution success. Let's make this year your best yet.